Around 400 years before the current One Piece story, people existed in a much more peaceful era. Well, peaceful except for one thing: monsters. Things are not looking the best for Ryuma the samurai. On his last legs, he crawls through this village hoping to get a meal from someone, anyone. In this moment, we can already see his resilience. Most people would just give up, but he comments that he refuses to die here, even if that's mainly just because people were rude to him. This escapade leads him into Restaurant Gerard, where we're introduced to Flare the waitress and Shirano the swordsman. Shirano is seen as noble, kind, and extremely skilled. Even in the beginning of the story, people are gossiping about him being in town. This is an extreme parallel to Ryuma, who is being kicked out from a restaurant during that same beginning. It's clear that Shirano and Flare have some type of prior relationship, but we're not exactly sure what that entails. One thing we do know, however, is that Flare is kind-hearted. She lets Ryuma eat his first meal in 5 days for free, something that nobody else would allow. Being a man of honor, Ryuma tells Flare that he is in debt to her and that he'll do anything that she says. Right after this, we finally see Ryuma and Shirano clash due to Shirano accidentally hitting Ryuma's scabbard. However, it's quickly shown that Ryuma is seemingly outclassed, which is pretty impressive considering he cuts a bronze statue in half. Although Shirano ends the duel, Ryuma says in front of everyone that this is a fight to the death, but it's stopped again by Flare. After this battle, we're told why exactly Flare and Shirano have any sort of past relationship. It turns out that just 7 years prior, a dragon randomly attacked a village, wiping out almost every single person there and leaving only ash behind. Despite the blaze, one man had fearlessly charged in, and because of this, he managed to save just one person. That man was Shirano, and that person was Flare, who lost her parents in the ruthless attack. It's then claimed that Shirano is only second in skill to the legendary Swordmaster King, a man who Ryuma says has the heart of a great warrior. I'm guessing that means something important to the One Piece world as a whole because it's emphasized every time it's said. Unlike the legendary King, DR is completely unremarkable. Even in the story, he's described as a third-rate swordsman, which is why it's very easy for him to get away with agitating Ryuma and acting as though Ryuma buried a sword in his stomach. This gives him the perfect excuse to use a dragon horn, a tool that calls a dragon to your location. At this point, it's unclear why he wants to do this. Everyone is terrified and blames Ryuma for this, which makes sense. Not just because Ryuma confronted him, but also because of the fact that he told Shirano this was a battle to the death in front of the restaurant patrons. This is why even Flare, who showed him kindness, calls him a murderer. The city is deserted. Only 4 people remain: Ryuma, Flare, Shirano, and DR. We know that both Ryuma and Flare are currently talking in the restaurant, but the other 2 are nowhere to be found. Surely, though, the noble Shirano who said he would slay the dragon must be standing outside preparing himself to do battle with the creature. This thought is too much for Flare, who, being the good person she is, runs outside to stop Shirano, the man who saved her life. However, when she walks outside, Ryuma attempts to stop her from moving forward. Unfortunately, it's too late. She sees it: Shirano and DR looting everybody's stuff. This man, who is supposed to be a noble swordsman and hero, is taking advantage of a panicked and deserted city. But not only that, he's working together with the man who blew the dragon horn in the first place. The same type of dragon that took the lives of everyone in her village. This is when we hear a first-hand account of the tale of 7 years ago from Shirano's perspective. They targeted Flare's mountain village specifically because they knew it would be easily wiped out. Shirano wanted nothing more than money and a reputation that would allow him to take out and loot as many villages as he wanted, to obtain a life of luxury. In the middle of the village's chaos, he found a young Flare, using the last of her energy to call out for help. Because of this, Shirano finds her father trapped under their collapsed, burning house and takes his life. Not only did Shirano destroy her village, but he killed her father. The man Flare thought she always knew, the noble swordsman, was nothing but a lie. In processing this, she at first puts on a front while around Ryuma before immediately collapsing into tears as soon as she's alone. This is paralleled by the maniacal laughter of Shirano and DR, the men who destroyed her life. However, we must not forget that unlike Shirano, Ryuma truly is a noble swordsman, Due to this, he confronts and easily executes both Shirano and DR. Although this is a victory in itself, the dragon is still on its way. Ryuma doesn't care though. Despite all odds seemingly being against him, Ryuma charges into battle with the dragon head on and slays it in just one slash. The man who was unknown and not respected by anyone was the one who ended up saving everyone, and the man who garnered everyone's respect took advantage of them. In reality though, this noble and brave swordsman actually is known. However, he's not known as Ryuma to anyone. He's actually known as Ryuma D. King, or King for short. He's the most powerful swordsman with a true heart of a warrior. Just as quickly as he arrived, he left on his way to another town. I really enjoyed this story, especially the parallels between Ryuma and Shirano, which, when you think about it, is even funnier because of the fact that Ryuma is actually more respected and famous than Shirano is all along. Honestly, I'd like it if Ryuma had his own series entirely. But either way, I should probably start working on my next One Piece video because February is going to be full of romance anime and manga. Thanks for watching.